And we should be live. Hello, Gnatosdomes. It's been a while since I last talked to any of you in my voice. I guess. As you can tell, if you've never actually watched me on a stream before, I'm not nearly as coherent and nice. All the videos are in fact scripted. So this will be a shit show. Here to join me and to help me in this shit show, I have Gio. Say hello.
Hi, how are you guys? Congratulations, Micro.
Thank you. So yeah, as the title kind of says, so last Monday, but the Monday before that, I defended my master's thesis and passed. So I am now having a master's degree in cell biology and physiology technically, but it's cell biology. Which of course means that I'll be going back to making videos, and I'll also be looking for a job. Because
yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
Yeah, I need to actually be an adult now.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
So, the plan for this hangout stream, not a hangout, it's a stream because it's using Discord. Anyways, the plan for this is basically just me and Gio and possibly R&D, if he comes back from his test thing in time. Just fucking around and doing some live debunking of some videos that are, one is sort of related to my thesis, which was sort of related to cancer, but not really. And the other one is just some other random biology stuff. And I also have I have a couple of online cell biology quizzes, so we can test how much of the stuff I've learned I have actually forgotten.
Oh god.
So, but before we do that, before we actually get to the fun part, well, I guess this is also fun, depending on what you find funny. I don't know, I don't judge. A bit of housekeeping. So, I haven't released anything for over a year, because I've kind of been busy with the whole, getting a degree thing. Now that I have it, I will start making videos again. I actually have a finished video that is a guest video for R&D that I made, that he hasn't released yet, but I made it over a year ago. So once he has released that, and it's been out for a month, I'll release that on the channel, so I guess you have that to look forward to. And I do have another Science on the Table video where I just need the visuals, that is the actual experiment part, all the audio is done. And then I have a couple of ideas, one of which I'm definitely gonna do, and one of which, the other one is sort of based on the topic of my thesis. So I might be able to actually use some of the stuff I learned for for a video. So that's sort of the future. Don't expect me to become have regular uploads just because I'm done. I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's gonna be pretty much like it was before I started my thesis. Sorry. So that's pretty much. Yeah, as Yella says in the chat, I'll make videos until I get the job and then become tired. Hopefully. Are you actually dead, Gio?
I am here, yes.
Okay, it's just been very quiet.
Well, you were kind of in a monologue there and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay, how many streams have we been on together? Not by now?
100 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so for those who don't know, I've been on a lot of Geo streams on his channel, which I should probably actually link in the description. I'll add that afterwards. But also, me and Geo and R&D and Smelly, we do a show on another channel that I should also link, called Taking a Look At, where we sit for 2 hours and go on weird tangents and make fun of random naughty websites. So I've been keeping up with because it's a little easier. So it's every other Saturday or so. So if you watch this and think, wow, these guys seem entertaining live, then that's something for you. Okay, I think that's enough housekeeping stuff. Oh yeah, and I will of course try to keep an eye on the chat and answer questions and stuff. So who's actually in this? And to all the people saying congratulations, thank you very much.
By the way, Micro, you should maybe turn your levels down from the microphone because you're kind of crackling sometimes.
Oh. That's strange. Or maybe I should just stop yelling.
I mean, maybe that's my end, I don't know. But to me it sounds like your microphone is hitting the maximum input, so it's sounding...
It might be. Let's see. If I can turn the gain on a bit. Now the question is what way the gain is, because it's upside down.
So you're dangling your microphone over the monitors as well?
No, not all over the monitor. How's that?
That sounds a little bit better. Apparently my sound is quite low as well. Well, my microphone I know is set to the max. Wait a second, let me just readjust it. I'm using one of my headsets. Is that a little bit louder maybe?
I don't know.
Okay, well. I think we just gotta have to run it this way then.
Okay, you know what? The important, I can hear you, and if you can hear me, and if that's important, and the most important thing is, of course, if the chat can hear us. So, well, the audience, you don't have to be in the chat, of course. Also, the reason I am sounding suspiciously sober is because I've just started drinking in my new fancy beer glass that I got as a present.
What's the volume of the beer glass?
About like a normal bottle, but it's like a tall,
100 milliliters.
I guess. No, like a normal bottle, not like a big bottle, but like a small, like the kind of bottle you would put in a crate of beers.
Okay, so apparently your sound volume is fine, mine is a little bit low, so I would suggest going to, not voice meter, OBS and
yeah,
turn
I just did.
audio.
I just did.
Okay. Yeah, there was recently another update to OBS that apparently fixed this issue that people that are input through the through Discord or whatever are too silent. That's apparently fixed now, so you might have to upgrade or update.
Oh.
Whatever.
So, let's switch over to this because we're done with the housekeeping stuff. So, we have a few options here. So it depends on what people want to do. So we have the options of going through these two quizzes. So this is like a general cell biology quiz, and this is it's called Never Work with Membrane Proteins, and the protein I looked at a specific protein and how it's transported from where it's made to the plasma membrane, so the surface of the cell. So I made the mistake of working with a membrane protein. So this would be kind of fitting. And then there's of course, these two videos. So, what do people want to do first? Or what do you want to do first, you?
Well, let's ask the audience first, because they are apparently more important than I am. So type 1 if you want Micro to take the biology test, or take 2 if you want to see one of the two videos.
That sounds like a good idea.
So again, type 1 for the test, 2 for the videos. Well, 1 for the
I guess 3 if you just want to keep hearing us talk.
Yeah, and getting slightly more drunk over time. Even though this is just one bottle of beer, I think my liver isn't just what it used to be.
I think those two things might be connected.
Okay, so that's 1-1.
There's another one. Okay.
Yeah, that counts as 1-1.
Yeah.
So we had 4 ones. And by the way, Smelly's in the side chat.
I know, he's watching from work.
As soon as you graduate, your alcohol tolerance drops. That is so true.
I think my alcohol tolerance mainly dropped because I consumed less alcohol in the last 3 months. Someone.
That's a 3, that doesn't count.
How many people are actually watching?
14.
14.
Minus us 2, so that's about a dozen.
Well, I feel like the clear vote is for the
For the biology test, go ahead.
Yes.
God, this is gonna be painful. I will know nothing.
Well, the question is, how much will I know? So, it says here.
Wait a second, can you zoom in a little bit? Because Discord, at least the stream that I'm getting, is so fucking compressing it that I can't read anything.
Can you read it now?
Yeah, I think so.
How is
Yes.
how is it for the audience? Can you
Wait a second. You know, it's a really sad thing when the stream on YouTube is actually better than the one over Discord. But it is. For YouTube, it's no issue. Oh,
Okay.
hi, Jared. Jared's here.
Oh, hi Jared.
So, should I read this?
Oh no, I was gonna read it. You can read it if you want to.
Okay, I'll just go ahead. A cell is the basic fundamental unit of all biological organisms.
As opposed to what? Non-biological organisms?
Yeah. The following quiz is designed to test your knowledge on this topic to the extremes. Good luck with this quiz. I challenge you to score more than 60% of this quiz. Cells are shit. My uncle lives in a cell. On 2 times 3 meter, he continues reading the same old newspapers.
So it has 44 questions.
44. We'll be sitting here forever.
Why don't you let's make you the quiz master.
Actually, I think I can answer this one. All cells contain which of the following? Endoplasmatic reticulum, plasma membrane, nucleus, or mitochondria? Well, I'm pretty sure all of them contain a plasma membrane.
Well, yeah, because I mean, otherwise you don't have a cell.
Yeah. I know that not all of them contain a nucleus.
That's correct. You
Because
have
they are prokaryotes.
well, you also have eukaryotic cells without a nucleus. Like your red blood cells don't have one.
Okay, fine, whatever. Mitochondria, I'm actually not sure.
You do have, in fact, there are unicellular organisms that don't have mitochondria,
Okay, and then endoplasmatic reticulum.
which is, yeah, not all.
Honestly, I don't remember the function of it whatsoever.
The function of it is basically when you start, if you want something to get to be in a membrane or to go like anywhere else than just floating around in the cell, a protein, you have to put it into the endoplasmatic reticulum. It's like a series of like membrane.
Yes, it's this
Chambers.
kind of tube chamber thingies.
Yeah.
I know, but I just didn't remember the function
Yeah.
of it.
So The correct answer is plasma membrane because that's a bit otherwise it's a bit like asking like what if
Okay, so just for clarification, can actually be multiple answers? Can multiple answers in this be?
I don't think so. I think it's only one that can be correct.
Okay, then let's continue. The control center. Oh, for fuck's sake.
That is a horribly phrased question.
The control center or brain of the cell is the nucleus, mitochondria, cell membrane, or endoplasmatic reticulum. That's a really weird phrasing.
Yeah.
I know it's not mitochondria because that's the powerhouse of the cell. Obviously.
Well, no. That's the powerhouses. Mitochondria is plural. It's a mitochondrion.
I actually never had Latin in school, so fuck you.
I didn't have. That's not true. I did have a bit of Latin in high school.
For whatever reason back then I choose French, which in retrospective is a total embarrassment.
But I mainly know it because I know the plurals and singulars of biological words. Kind of have had to use them.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that they mean the nucleus. Yeah, okay. Plant cells have all of the following except cell wall. Well, they have cell walls. That's one of the defining thing about a plant cell.
They also have a nucleus, obviously.
Yeah,
and they also have a chloroplast, so I think they don't have a centriole, whatever that is.
So centrioles are these weird collections of proteins that the cytoskeleton in animal cells link up to. So you know how when a cell divides, like you get the chromosomes moving in, like.
Ah yes, is it the chromosome polar thingy?
Well, no, it's the point at either. So it's actually like a central. It looks kind of funky. Like it looks like this. These two, they're the same thing, and they're sort of like put together at a weird angle. So they separate during when a cell is dividing, and then each of them becomes the anchoring point that you can have microtubules, which are what they like what the cytoskeleton is made out of, like go out. But it's also where one of them. The reason it says mother and daughter central is because the mother one is where in cells that have a primary cilium that goes out of there, which is like important for signaling and stuff. But plants.
I just called it a cell spaghetti.
That is surprisingly accurate, yeah. So it's actually not entirely true. Plant cells do have centrioles. It's just that it's only their male, the male like sex cells that have them. Correct. Keep going. No, I'm gonna stop. Fuck you, quiz. Don't tell me what to do.
What has the rough ER attached to it? Nucleolus, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, or chromosomes?
Okay, so the nucleolus is like a small part of...
It's like a small core thingy inside the nucleus.
Yeah, where your ribosomes are made. And it's not attached to that. It is attached to the nucleus, but it's not attached to the nucleolus. The Golgi apparatus is not. It's also not connected to chromosomes. Again, it's the ribosomes because, as I said, it's the ER is how you get things out into the. If you want proteins to go out and not just float around inside the cell, but actually be in something, they need to go in, and the way into the ER, and the way that works is that you have a ribosome attached to it. And that's why it's called the rough ER, because it has all of these ribosomes attached to them, so they look like little dots. The thin, flexible membrane around the cell is called... I thought this was supposed to be hard.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
That's the plasma membrane.
Yep.
The main function of the cell wall is to support and protect the cell, store DNA, help the cell move, direct the activities of the cell. That's the... I think even you know that one.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise the cell would like flow apart.
So far, it's pretty easy.
Which of the following is the function of the cytoskeleton? Helps the cell keep its shape, contains DNA, surrounds the cell, and helps make proteins.
Spooky Bet here, yes, we are celebrating by taking a test. That is how much of a nerd I am.
Okay, so it's called the... I have no idea, but just judging by the name, I guess it's the first one. Or maybe the third one.
It's the first one. It's all the little... It's like little... not little. They're they're thin, very long strand... Usually very long... Like, very long as in they expand a big part of the cell. Bits of like protein fibers that can be like lengthened and shortened, and also like you move up things around on them.
Okay.
So like if you want to get something from one part of the cell to another, what you do is that you have something that sort of walks along. You have proteins that walk along their cytoskeleton, and then they're attached to the thing, so they sort of carry them like little cars.
Okay. Prokaryotes lack DNA or the genetic material, a cell membrane in the nucleus or cytoplasm. Yeah, that's C and nucleus.
Yes.
This is easy so far. Which organelle would not be found in animal cells? Smoothly are chloroplasts.
Well, all of them can be found in animal cells.
Yeah, chloroplasts in animal cells?
Yes. There are in fact animals that have chloroplasts. It's called well, they aren't born with them, but there are these like sea slugs that
but
steal.
I don't think that would count as an animal cell. Doesn't it like just carry around?
No. It's called kleptoplasty, or kleptoplasty or something like that. They actually like eat some algae, and then they digest all of the algae except for its chloroplasts, which they then incorporate into their own like gut lining, the cells that are on the inside of their gut, and then they continue to act as chloroplast and photosynthesize.
You know what? That's fucking badass. Not only am I gonna eat this algae as a food, but I'll also make my food produce more food.
Yes. And they even look a bit like leaves.
Well, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just for having more surface to actually be exposed to light.
Okay, that one you should be able to answer, considering that it is.
Diffusion is the movement of particles from an area of equilibrium to an area of high concentration. An area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. That's that one. An area of low concentration to an area of high concentration, or all of the above. That's 2.
I didn't even read. I was looking at the chat. Which one are you saying? What are you saying?
Second.
Okay.
The eukaryotic cell contains only chromosomes, membrane-bound organelles, DNA floating in cytoplasm, or just cytoplasm.
Well, there's one.
Yeah.
If it only contains ribosomes, what the fuck are the ribosomes supposed to be doing? They kind of need the rest of the cell to function. Well, not to function, but to do anything.
Yeah, I guess float around and maybe party hard, because there's nothing else to do. Hey, you already got 25% correct. So that's already better than Riley's thesis. Congratulations.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was better than his thesis by just answering the first question correctly.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, by spelling your name correctly.
Yeah, Spooky Bad Hair, it is very Borg of them.
We are the sea slugs. Resistance is futile. Your biological and technological difference.
Well, not really technological. Also, it's like the Borg, only a lot slower.
Okay, diffusion of water is facilitated diffusion, active transport, osmosis, or exocytosis. I guess what they mean is osmosis?
Yeah, but
because it's a little bit weirdly phrased.
Technically, you also have facilitated diffusion because across membranes because you have like water channels. Like you have proteins that are called aquaporins that like where water can easier pass through than through the membrane. But I'm guessing it's they want Yeah, they should have said diffusion of water across membranes. Yeah, and yellow is correct. It's not specifically about water. Like it's also about the concentrations of the stuff in the water.
Which organelle is the packing center for the cell? Endoplasmatic reticulum, nucleus, lysosome, or Golgi apparatus? I do not know. But
it's a weird phrase. I think they probably want the answer to be Golgi apparatus. So nucleus is where the DNA is, and lysosomes are these they're basically the recycling centers. Like you put a bunch of stuff inside the lysosome, and then you pump it full of acid and like digestive enzymes, and then they break the stuff inside them down, and then release the like amino acids and lipids and carbohydrates back out to be reused. So I'm guessing it's the Golgi they're talking about, which is a bit of a weird phrasing of it.
Hey. Which one of the following is a sac-like structure that stores water?
That's balls.
That's the vacuole.
That is, yeah, it is. But it sounds more funny to say it's my balls. Yeah. Although that's really only true in plant cells and some unicellular eukaryotes. Because I mean in like animal cells and our cells, their vacuoles are like mostly for transporting things around.
That,
Hey!
Yeah, mitochondria. Don't even need to read that because it's so fucking common knowledge that
I mean, it's a meme, yeah. It's a grammatically incorrect meme.
Hey, have you ever seen a grammatically correct meme?
Yeah, plenty of memes are grammatically correct.
Who discovered cells and named them?
I don't see how that is like that's history.
And who the fuck is Rudolph?
Well, he was the red-nosed reindeer.
I don't know actually, no idea.
I wanna say that it's Anton van
Leeuwenhoek, I think.
Leeuwenhoek. He was Dutch. Because he was the guy.
Robert Hooke, the guy who developed the law for springs in physics.
I think so.
The force of a spring would.
And this,
on an object
this
I
know it.
From the center point.
I know it's not this one because that is the person who came up with the endosymbiont theory, which is an explanation of how you got. It's basically like the idea that mitochondria and chloroplasts used to be bacteria that then was absorbed into another cell and then became dependent on it.
Okay, well,
But
just guessing, I'd say it's A.
it's
because
no,
I know
it's
that
yeah,
he
he
was a physicist.
yeah no, he was the guy. He was the guy who made like the first like microscope. So
Yeah, then what the fuck? Hey, we got the wrong one.
oh, well, it's the history one.
Which of the following is not found in all cells? Genetic material, cell membrane, vacuoles, or scroll down. You need to scroll down.
Yeah.
There we go. Cytoplasm.
No. Cytoplasm is found in all cells.
I think.
Cytoplasm is all the like floaty bits inside the plasma membrane.
Yeah, I know. I think it's actually genetic material, isn't it? Don't red blood cells contain no DNA whatsoever?
Yeah. What? That's bullshit. I mean, technically, yeah, there are cells without vacuoles, but like, there are also cells without genetic material.
Do red blood cells contain mitochondrial DNA?
Possibly? I'm not actually sure. Let's see.
Okay, so we got
Red.
oh.
I'm not counting the history one. Nope, they also lose their mitochondria. So no, So this one we did technically have correct.
Which of the following is the site for protein synthesis? That's ribosomes, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. The little clump, well, not little, they're actually quite large clumps of
RNA.
RNA and proteins that like build long strands of amino acids that are proteins. If you never actually also to the audience, if you've never actually seen like an animation of how it works, it's quite cool because it feels like some sort of like biological clockwork.
Not like a clockwork. For me, it looks more like. Do you know those old computers that ran on those punch cards?
Oh yeah.
After punch cards were standard, they were actually punch bands, where the entire program would be stored on a large.
That's actually kind of true.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Like the scan of one of those.
Which of the following is not a part of cell theory? All living things are made of cells. Cells come from existing cells. Cells are the basic unit of structure and function in all living things. All cells contain the same organelles. Well, considering that you have had questions that were...
because it's...
There's literally been questions about like...
Yeah, that shows that this is wrong. And even if... I mean, even if it was right, it would be a... Yeah, well, it would be a part of cell biology then, but since it isn't...
Well, no, cell theory is the like... Basically these three things are cell theory. Oh!
Who proposed that some cell organelles were once a type of bacteria that were free-living?
Well...
Yeah, no idea.
Well, I was right. That was the person we had as one of the other options, where I literally said this.
They do have a double membrane, don't they? Where the outer one is more similar to the bacterial cell and the inner one is more like a viral cell membrane.
No, they're both membranes are like are, if I remember correctly, the outer membrane is kind of like, I can't remember if they have kept the outer membrane that they were originally absorbed into when they were put inside the cell, or if both of them are of bacterial origin. Maybe someone in the...
I don't think they are. I think the outer ones are more like the membrane of the organism that they are in.
Maybe someone in the chat knows or can look it up. I guess I could look it up too, but
That raises the question though, do Euglena have triple walls?
do what?
Euglena. That single-celled organism that has kind of a photosensor and is carrying around a chloroplast. Even though it has like animal-like characteristics.
Oh, you mean
Euglena.
yeah. No, I think Euglena is I think if I remember correctly, those aren't just chloroplasts. They are like algae that live inside it. Like they're like a symbiosis.
Yeah, but even if those chloroplasts or internal bacteria would have gone in there via the same mechanism as regular chloroplasts, they would still have a triple membrane, wouldn't they?
Yeah, sure.
Because you would have an algae cell inside of...
Well, you can break down the cell in between.
Well, yeah, yes.
Not the cell in between, you can break down the membrane in between. Okay.
Check.
What are the small dark structures in the nucleus that produce ribosome?
Yes, I found it. Euglena's chloroplasts are surrounded by 3 membranes.
Okay, they are actually chloroplasts. They aren't just algae.
Let me check. It just says Euglena's chloroplasts are surrounded by 3 membranes, while those of plants and green algae, among which the earlier taxonomists often placed Euglena, have only 2 membranes.
Huh, okay. What is the small dark structure in the nucleus that produces ribosomes? That would be the nucleolus. What is the jelly-like substance found in all cells?
Well, I guess cytoplasm.
Yeah, even though jelly-like, it's not like Jello. It's like water.
Well, you must know.
Fair point.
Get it because you're a cube of jelly.
Yep. You don't have to explain the joke.
Yeah, but for the audience that don't know the joke.
Just because your audience has a lot of stupid people in it doesn't mean mine automatically has.
Hey.
Yours have flat earthers in it.
That's true, but I don't want them in my audience.
Well, they're still there.
True. These are the folds found inside the mitochondria that give more surface area for energy-releasing processes to take place. Well, it's either 2 or 3.
Well, I can tell you that it's free.
Then select it.
Yes. And we are halfway. Yay.
This is a sac-like structure that contains digestive enzymes. It may digest waste materials or even dead cells.
Well, I already gave the answer to that earlier.
Wasn't it the vacuole?
No, it's the lysosome.
Okay.
You can tell because it has the word lyse in it. As in lysing something.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This is a series of sac-like tunnels. I
already had that one. It was the Raphiar, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, but sac-like tunnels is a contradiction. You can't have a sac-like tunnel. By definition, a sac is not a tunnel. Like, that's not what the word sac means.
Yeah, it was the Raphiar, wasn't it?
The main function of this organelle, that... Yeah, it's the Raphiar. I wonder if it's the smooth one.
This type of diffusion requires the help of protein channels. It allows for the diffusion of large molecules like glucose through the plasma membrane. Osmosis, diffusion, active transport, or facilitated diffusion. I think it's active transport, isn't it?
No, because then it's not diffusion.
Then it's facilitated diffusion.
Yeah. So active transport means that you...
That would be against the equilibrium.
Yes.
Okay. This is considered to be the opposite of diffusion. Active transport.
Yep, we literally just had it.
Is
Wait, wait. I think so far, I think we're gonna be beating the get 60% correct.
Okay, this is an active transport process where the plasma membrane forms a pouch to surround something and bring it into the cell. Then it's, I think, endocytosis.
Yes. Whereas exocytosis is putting...
It means it brings it out of the cell, I know.
Yes. Plunk. Oh. This is the active transport process where a vesicle inside the cell fuses with the the plasma membrane to release content to the outside of the cell. Well, we just had that one.
And I think that phagocytosis is when one cell eats another one?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be another one. It's just like it just has to be, it's usually something larger, but it's mainly that these, like, because pinocytosis is also bringing things in, but it's mainly to do with, like, the method of how gets in there. But, like, yeah, phagocytosis is, for example, what your macrophages, which is like a type of immune cell, well, what they will do is that they will, like, surround sick cells or waste products or bacteria and then engulf them and do phagocytosis. But which literally, phago literally means eating, so they're literally eating.
That's what I said. Exocytosis, then it is.
Mm-hmm.
These organic compounds are found floating around in a sea of phospholipids. They sometimes form channels, or what? I think it means they sometimes form channels or pumps in and out of the cell.
Well. Oh, okay. No, I know what they mean. They're just too stupid. Like, it's just a really stupid way of phrasing it. But when they say a sea of phospholipids, they mean a membrane. So it's proteins. Let's see.
Still sounds weird as fuck.
Yeah, that was a super weird way of phrasing it. Okay, I'm out of beer, so I'm gonna go get the other beer.
Does that mean I need to entertain your audience for a few minutes until you are back?
Well, a few minutes it's not gonna take a few minutes.
Whatever.
My apartment isn't that big.
Here's the plan. We're just gonna sit in awkward silence. I'm gonna mute my microphone.
And I am back.
What kind of beer is it?
It's a coffee stout.
Ugh. Which of the following term is not similar to the other three?
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things is not the same. Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
So which one is it? Either phagocytosis or pinocytosis, I guess.
Well, no, it's exocytosis.
Oh, the other ones are all inwards.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Okay.
What? Wait.
Yeah, you clicked the wrong one.
No. These two are in.
Yeah, and endocytosis is in as well. And exocytosis is outwards.
Yeah, in, out. This,
what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
this
okay,
is saying
you're right,
something.
yes.
This is taking something in. This is taking something in. This is putting something out. This is taking something.
Okay, maybe they fucked up?
Yeah, someone else has also pointed out that it's incorrect.
Okay, so we gotta add +1 in the end.
Well, no, we're gonna have to add +2 because it also had the genetic material one incorrect.
Oh, yeah, okay. Actually, let me just open an editor so I can track all the fuck ups. Okay, continue. Which of the following best describes the lipid bilayer present in the plasma membrane?
I like how it says that it's present, not that that is what it is. Like that's what the plasma membrane is, but the plasma membrane is something else, and then you have the phosphobilayers. That's a...
Phospholipids in a single layer? No. Phospholipids in a double layer with heads of both layers meeting in the middle. Phospholipids in a single layer with heads facing inside the cell. Phospholipids in a double layer with tails facing each other and heads on the inside and the outside of the cell. It's the fourth.
Yeah.
Because the heads are the polar part, which obviously like to bind to water. So it's number 4.
Sorry, just...
please.
Yeah, I was looking at the chat. Which of the following is not supporting evidence of the endosymbiont theory? So that's the idea that like mitochondria and chloroplast used to be free living bacteria. The fact that they have their own DNA, that very clearly supports it. That they only found in eukaryotic cells. I mean, that sort of supports it. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
I feel like they all... Well, I guess technically this one doesn't, because you...
Yeah, 2 is the least correct.
Yeah, because there's nothing inherent about, like, well, there kind of is, because part of the definition of a eukaryotic organism is that it has membrane-bound organelles. That was a weird one.
Which of the following is not true of the fluid mosaic model? Proteins float among the phospholipids, carbohydrate chains may extend of the plasma membrane, cholesterol damages the plasma membrane, phospholipids may move around. I do not know.
I'm not entirely sure what they actually mean by fluid mosaic model.
Well, I guess that you can kind of see the cell membrane as a two-dimensional fluid in which the...
Yeah.
Everything apart from...
I'm assuming they mean like lipid, they're talking about stuff like lipid rafts. Like the fact that you will have like collections of some of the same lipids like form a little like island in the rest of the vast sea of phospholipids. But like cholesterol doesn't damage cell membranes. Like that's just wrong in general. Oh, each of them actually have a difficulty rating. Huh.
Is there ever a hard one?
Yeah, we've had a few hard ones, I think.
Okay, which of the following describes a cell that has an equal amount of solute as its environment? I guess isotonic?
Yeah. So, like, hypo and hyper is just a matter of, like, more or less. And osmotic just means that there is a difference.
Which of the following is not found in all cells? DNA, plasma membrane, cytoplasm, or lysosome? DNA.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we can add 3 now, because we know that that is not true. It is actually true that not all of them contain lysosomes, but there also are cells that do not contain DNA. Which of the following is the site of photosynthesis? Okay, I'm gonna assume they mean photosynthesis like plants and like plants do, and not like cyanobacteria.
Yeah, well, chloroplast.
Yeah.
Which of the following scientists discovered that all animals have cells?
I know there's cells named after Swan. Like the support cells for nerve cells like outside the central nervous system are called Swan cells. I want to say Leeuwenhoek again. No. Oh.
Okay, so that's a genuine one.
Yeah. But it's history. Who cares?
Apparently, the people who made this fucked up quiz. Okay, which of the following is instrumental in helping a cell maintain homeostasis?
All of them.
Well, I guess they mean the plasma membrane. Don't
Yeah, I assume them, but like it's all of them. Well, I guess maybe not cell wall, but like cytoskeleton, yeah, because you need the cytoskeleton to move. Like, if you want to maintain a lot of equilibriums that are necessary to maintaining homeostasis, you need to be able to move, like, newly synthesized protein to and from the membrane. Which of the following contains instructions to make a protein?
Nucleus.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically so does.
Technically, ribosome is correct as well. Yeah, that.
Yeah, and the rough ER. although they don't necessarily contain it. Well, so neither does the nucleus technically. You could have a situation where you remove all the DNA from a nucleus.
Which of the following is located on the very most outside of a plant cell? Yeah, that's a cell wall.
Yeah.
Why does this shit remind me of, I don't know, 7th grade biology?
I feel like it varies a lot in like how hard it is.
Which of the following is not found in an animal cell? Large central vacuole, cell wall, chloroplast, or chlorophyll? Not found in an animal cell.
All of them! All of them!
What the fuck?
All of them? What? What?
Oh man, that's great. That's
What?
great. Okay, that's
I want to see the comments. Yeah.
Okay, which of the following was not visible under the microscopes at Merophosis when viewing cells?
That's a weird question.
DNA strands? I
Yeah,
guess?
because you can't see DNA strands with a microscope.
Can you see them in chromosome form? When they are rolled up into a chromosome instead of being open?
Yeah, but that's not the strands. Like, I mean, you can see them even when they're not in even when they're folded out. Like, they will you will see the shadow of them. But
Okay.
but I mean, that's not the actual strands. Well, we did beat the score they set out for us.
What was the score they set out?
60.
Oh, okay, well. Well, and we must add +4. Well, technically, since it was 44 questions, each of them should be worth 2. So you can add
Well,
+8.
well, I guess it's because there was like a difficulty rating on them. This was a terrible quiz in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, because it was just there were just a few mistakes in there that are unexcusable.
Yay!
Okay, now you have to print it and hang it on your wall upside down.
Next to the there's the diploma for the actual degree. Once I get that.
You know, even this certificate of achievement is better than what Riley is gonna get.
I like how you keep referring to that. I'm not sure how much of the audience.
Well, let's see. I don't know, maybe 40%? For those who don't know, Riley is a flat earther who recently handed in a quote-unquote master's thesis to a British law school. And it's a complete and utter joke. I mean, it doesn't have a title, it doesn't have a table of contents.
If you want to see just how bad it is,
watch my stream.
Yeah, the latest stream on on Geo's channel.
But don't do it because it's just a waste of time. By the way, there will be another stream about this on Steve McRae's channel in the future.
Oh.
After he has read and checked it out. So in about, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe. So far the error count that I found is more than 400 on a 33-page document.
Well, that was that one. That was stupid.
Comment from the side chat from James Thompson. We all know about Big Purple's friend.
What, you mean Nathan? So we can either do this much shorter quiz that's only 10 questions, but a bit more in depth probably. Or we can do some live debunking.
Let's go for the live debunking. I think one weird test is enough.
I think you are correct. So what do we want to debunk? Do we want to hear Mike Adams talk about GMO, or do we want to hear some idiot talk about how cancer isn't actually a genetic disease?
Let's go for the GMOs. I'd go for the GMOs.
I mean,
let's be honest. I get in contact with enough cancer on the internet already.
Also, it's Mike Adams.
True.
Okay, the chat is gonna have to let me know how the audio levels is for this.
Okay, so yeah, let's stop. Wait, stop. Let's just ask the audience.
So that
type 1 for cancer and type 2 for GMOs.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
So 1 for cancer, 2 for GMOs. I'll be out for 1 minute. Be right back.
Okay. Well, I guess the reason he did it was he came up with the idea of doing the vote was because he needed to leave. So yeah, let's see. Okay, you can't just write 12. That's not how this works. Getting a lot of 2s. Getting a lot of 2s. Only 2s. 1 is truly the loneliest number. Not a 2. I think 2 2 has clearly won. Which I think, was that the GMO? I can't remember. We'll wait for Geo to come back. He probably shouldn't take that long. Hopefully. Okay, James, you can only like you don't have to spam it. Like voting once is fine. Stop. You can stop spamming the chat. By the way, the little clip, the little snippet of audio I played, how was that? Was the audio level fine? And now I go silent, so I await an answer. Well, Pastor, that depends on when you left.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, there's an overwhelming vote for
I
2.
see it. Yes, no cancer, thank you.
Okay, the audio was fine.
All right, welcome to the Health Ranger Report. This is.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that intro?
Micro,
Yes.
which way does DNA spin around? Is this right?
It's supposed to be right-handed, so it's supposed to go from the right with. No, that is the wrong way around.
I was about to say that. I think it's the wrong way around.
Yes, that is left-handed DNA. That is not how DNA. Well, most DNA looks.
So there's the first fuck up. Ding.
Well, and here's a second fuck up. It's Mike Adams. I can say whatever I want about him. The guy has probably caused several hundred deaths, and called for the death of everyone who works with genetically modified organisms.
What?
What, you didn't know that?
No.
He-
Also, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Yep.
Fuck.
He was surprisingly hard. There's a reason why this isn't on his actual channel.
You just roboted out Micro. You need to repeat the last sentence.
There's a reason why this isn't on his actual channel, Natural News, because that channel doesn't exist anymore. Because YouTube kind of went, you can't say this. Like, you said a lot of fucked up shit.
Now, Micro, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we use genetically modified bacteria to make insulin?
It's either depends on what company, but yeah, either E. coli or yeast.
Yeah, but both of them are GMOs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
You also use them to make growth hormones. Also, all the enzymes in your washing powder is made using them. And if you live in the US, you eat GMOs probably every day.
As you might know, I do not live in the United States of America.
Okay, so I was talking to everyone, not just you. The whole world doesn't revolve around you.
Okay, do me a favor, to the people in the audience. If you are from the USA, please type, I don't know.
Type one of the 3 words you know. I'm sorry. Obviously, most Americans know 5.
Well, Micro, you know the statistics, right? The average Dane speaks 2.3 languages, the average German 1.7, and the average American 0.7. True story.
Danish doesn't count as a language.
Alright, play this shit.
Yep.
Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, reporting for naturalnews.com. Today we have some new information, breaking news from a medical journal called Cell Research. This is news about the dangers of genetically modified foods.
Stop.
And this
How much you want to bet he cherry-picked that?
First of all, I would like to see the source, please.
So would I. Because I'm almost sure that he cherry-picked that, because
Yeah,
what?
well, either he cherry-picked it or it just isn't a reputable source.
Well, didn't he say Cell review?
No idea.
Hold on, I think he said
From a medical journal called Cell Research, this
no
is
Cell
Cell
research.
Research.
Let's see if I could spell. I probably can't. Okay, well, I think given that it's it's part of nature, I think we can assume that it's probably reputable.
Yeah, okay. Then he probably cherry-picked it. Well, either cherry-picked or quote mined, maybe. And yes, there's a difference between the two.
news about the dangers of genetically modified foods. And this is new information.
Gio, would you like to hazard a guess as to whether or not this is an accurate representation of how GMOs are made?
Well, yes, I would. It's not.
Yes, it's not.
Also, the only thing that is legal to inject into corn is butter, just saying.
Wait, when have you ever injected butter into corn?
Never. I'm just saying that it would be possible and legal.
I mean, I guess that you could also like inject other things into it that would be legal.
What?
I don't know.
Nutella, maybe? Fuck you.
I mean, I don't think there's a law against injecting. The main problem there is that it's probably pretty hard to inject. Well, I guess butter you could melt, but like Nutella, even if you like make it like a bit more fluid, it's still.
Micro, you haven't seen the biggest chemical syringes that we use in the lab. The syringe part, like the needle part, actually has about, I'd say, 3 millimeters diameter. So yeah, you could probably inject. By the way, we call them the Pulp Fiction cutlery. Just saying.
And Awkward Pastor there suggesting semen in the chat. I'm not sure.
This wouldn't work for him as he has no balls.
Says one source. Okay, let's see.
This shows the mechanism by which genetically modified foods, or GM foods, or GE foods, genetically engineered, may...
Those two words are not synonymous. GMO is a legal term. Genetic engineering refers to a subset of specific techniques.
alter your organ function.
Why did you have to put the emphasis like that? Your organ function.
You know what? I love that they always go against Monsanto.
Oh, you mean a company that doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, first of all that, and second of all, a company that developed one of the most important chemical industrial processes that we have on the planet.
Well, it probably did, to be fair, it probably did exist when he made this.
Probably. I mean, the brand name, I think, still exists.
Yes.
It's just that the
Yeah,
company of
this re-upload is from 2016, so yeah, it did.
Yeah, okay, yes.
The best part is that it's not even the, it's not even the, like, well, when it was there, it wasn't even the biggest, like, producers of GM foods to begin with. So it's it's a weird target.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, the hypocrisy of going... Oh, neat. Of going against someone, or a company that literally made one of the most important processes that we have on the planet, and that are partially responsible for feeding half the population. That's just hilarious to me.
You see, in the past,
For the people who don't know, the Monsanto process was, or is, a process where you make acetic acid from
the thing that you
carbon monoxide.
And acetic acid, for those who don't know, is the thing in vinegar.
Yeah, not only in vinegar, it's pretty much one of the most important.
I know, but I
I
was trying to give some context for those who might not know what acetic acid is. But isn't it like it's still produced by that? I thought it was produced by some more efficient process these days.
Yeah, they replaced it by the Cativa process, but the only difference is that they use another transition metal.
Oh.
The rest of the catalyst looks exactly identical. It's just a little bit more efficient in terms of...
That's kind of, like... That feels like a bit disingenuous to then give it a new name. Like, oh, yeah, I'll just take this and tweak it slightly. Oh.
Well, tweak it slightly is relative. The use of a other transition metal is actually not self-explanatory. So I think the original one used either rhodium or ruthenium, and the new one I'm pretty sure uses iridium. But otherwise,
it's the same.
Are pretty much identical, yes.
Well,
has said that genetically modified seeds and foods are presumed to be safe. Presumed safe.
Well, yeah, you know what's also presumed to be safe? Literally everything else. Well, okay, not everything.
I mean, we
all other.
That's the thing. We cannot prove 100% that something is safe.
Yeah.
We can just say that we can try. We can do experiments on testing whether we see any ill effects.
Yeah.
Even if we don't, it doesn't mean 100% that there are none. Just that the probability that there are none is going.
Yeah. Presumed safe is an actual legal term in U.S. politics, like food safety and crop safety and stuff like food and drug safety.
For example, if you test a new piece of medication on, let's say, 1 million new patients and there are no ill effects, that does not mean that for the 100 million and first that there won't be any. Just that the probability that there won't be any is very high.
Yeah. And it all probably also means that if there is an effect, it's probably small.
Yes.
It doesn't mean they're proven safe. In fact, right here from the Monsanto website, a couple of quotes you need to know. Here it is. Monsanto says, quote, "There is no need to test the safety of DNA introduced into genetically modified crops."
I want to read the rest of that.
Yeah, first of all, why would there be?
Because it's scary and different. And I don't like things that are different. Can you read that, or is it too blurry on your side?
Let me try. I think I can read it. There's no need to test the safety of DNA introduced into GM crops. DNA and resulting RNA is present in almost all foods, the only exceptions being highly refined materials like oil or sugar from which all cell material has been removed. Thus, DNA is non-toxic and the presence of DNA in and of itself presents no hazard.
They're not talking about the proteins produced. They're talking about the actual DNA put in there, which yeah.
Look, just because it's from an artificial source doesn't mean it's dangerous.
When a new protein, not normally found in that plant or other commonly consumed food, introduced into a plant, the safety of that protein does need to be addressed. It is standard practice.
So they're even quote mining the wrong paragraph.
But
even if they would try to quote mine the best thing for the narrative, what they actually cited is not the best thing to do. They should have quoted the first sentence of the next paragraph.
Yes! If you want to quote mine something, that's what you go for. And they even show it on the screen!
So they're incompetent in their... They're incompetent in their dishonesty as well.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yes, Monsanto says, quote, "There is no need to test the safety of DNA introduced into genetically modified crops." And they go on to say, there is no need for...
Okay, wait. I cannot read that at the moment. That's too blurry.
There's no need for or value in testing the safety of GM foods in humans. So long as the introduced protein is determined safe, food from GM crops are determined to be substantially equivalent, is not expected to pose a health risk. Further, it's impossible to design a long-term safety study in humans, which would require, for example, intake of large amounts of a particular GM product over. So they're not saying that you shouldn't test it. They're saying that testing the actual food in actual humans is both very hard to do and doesn't matter if you can test the actual like components, which is correct.
Yep.
Oh, I was afraid. I thought I lost you.
Or
No,
value in testing the safety of GM foods in humans. So you see, Monsanto has a position that they don't even need to test the safety of these genetically modified foods because it doesn't even matter.
It literally said that they think we should do that and that they do. It also fucking doesn't matter what they think because it's the law that they should.
So, do you think he's misquoting them on purpose, or
Yes.
is he just too stupid?
He's doing it on purpose. He's a grifter.
Okay.
Like this is from back when his main focus was quackery and food stuff. He's now shifted over to being like a right-wing dickbag. Like basically Alex Jones 2.0.
Yeah.
But now, here in Cell Research, we have a new study called the exogenous plant MIR16A. That is a microRNA study that we're talking about here. Specifically targets mammalian LDL-RAP1. That's a receptor for LDL cholesterol function in the liver. Evidence of cross-kingdom regulation by microRNA. Now, it means that microRNA.
What the fuck is microRNA?
So microRNA are small like bits of RNA that have like they don't code for a protein. They have like regulatory functions. They kind of like they're a bit like an RNA version of a protein sort of. That's sort of one way to describe it.
Okay, got it.
Let's look up what this is actually. Next, what did it say? Plant. Let's see. This is from 2012, so I'm guessing that the video probably was originally from 2012.
Yeah, Discord is too crappy to actually transmit this properly. I cannot read anything from there.
Our previous studies have demonstrated that stable microRNAs in mammalian serum and plasma are actively secreted from tissue and cells and can serve as a novel class of biomarkers for disease and act as signal molecules in intracellular communication. Here we report the surprising finding that exogenous plant microRNAs are present in the sera, so that's the plural of serum, and tissues of various animals, and that these exogenous plant microRNAs are primarily acquired orally through food intake. But this doesn't say anything about anything with GMO. Like this is probably a microRNA. As far as I'm aware, there are no like all GM foods use proteins. None of them use microRNAs. So this is almost certainly something that is like not just naturally exists in the in plants.
Okay.
Like I'm not sure what the.
Are you still there? You
No, I'm
roboted out again.
Oh, so.
Your sentence was cut off.
Oh yeah, no, but like, So, like, this doesn't have anything to do with genetically modified food. It has everything to do with, that appears to be some as it says, cross-kingdom regulation. Like, that's what you eat. There are microRNAs in those plants that might affect you. Which is, yeah, I didn't know that, but that sounds super interesting. But it doesn't have anything to do with GMOs.
Here. Specifically targets mammalian LDL-RAP1. That's a receptor for LDL cholesterol function in.
No, it's a receptor for LDL, which is a protein that carries cholesterol. There are no such thing as LDL cholesterol. It's all cholesterol. It's a matter of what protein is carrying it. There's a difference.
In the liver, evidence of cross-kingdom regulation by microRNA. Now, it means that microRNA, which is information, it is genetic information, has now.
I hate how they throw around the term information.
I mean, and it's not genetic information. It's made out of RNA, but it doesn't contain genetic information. It doesn't go on to become a protein or be replicated. Like that's like saying that it contains information in the same way that a protein contains information.
Now been found to pass from the foods through digestion into your blood and then to attach onto your organs.
Not my organs! Won't somebody please think of the organs? No? That wasn't funny? Fair enough.
No. Yeah, I've heard that joke a quadrillion times at this point.
Okay, alternatively, what's the one from Dr. Strangelove? With the bodily fluids. Our precious bodily fluids. Our precious bodily organs.
That one's funny. I actually watched the movie yesterday.
Oh.
Again.
Well, it is quite timely.
You got that? It goes from the food through digestion into your blood and attaches onto your organs, and there it modifies the function and the expression of those organs. This is groundbreaking science. This nullifies the safety claims of Monsanto.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, because they don't make microRNAs.
Okay.
Also, the things are
if he was really thinking that he kind of debunked Monsanto, wouldn't he write a paper trying to point that out?
Yeah, he would, but that requires peer review. Deconverted man in the chat. No, everything is not GMO. GMO is a legal term. It only you don't actually refer to genetically engineered or genetically modified things in science. You don't refer to them as GMO. It's a purely legal term. That's also why there are some things that even though they have been changed in like the genetic information, the genetic code has been changed in a lab. They aren't considered GMO. Also, I was really trying not to laugh in the middle of that when you started writing that in the chat.
Yeah, that was necessary as a comment to
yes.
what Deconverted Man wrote.
And it means that we are more than just the vitamins and minerals and fiber and carbohydrates and proteins that we eat. It means we are also eating information.
Yeah, look. Am I eating information if I decide to swallow a USB stick?
Technically, yeah.
Let me correct that. Would I be eating information if I decided to swallow yet another USB stick?
Wait. How many USB sticks have you swallowed and why?
Oh, I stopped counting. And you don't want to know. By the way, this was a quality joke of mine. Yeah, that's how far the.
For more jokes like this, come watch Take a Look at. Dick Holman, thanks for the congratulations. If I am gonna do a doctorate, it's gonna be in a few years. I wanna get some actual experience first, especially like lab. The sort of like the craft of being in a lab.
You got that? We're eating information because DNA and RNA is information.
We were already eating that. All the food you eat has those things in them. Unless you're eating like pure sugar.
But good luck dealing with that if you don't want to access the GMOs that give you your insulin.
Also, yeah. Also, given that a lot of like sugar comes from, I'm pretty sure that there are genetically modified version of sugar beets.
Yeah,
So when
probably.
you're eating this microRNA, it's surviving that process and then providing information to the cells and the organs in our body.
Stop.
Maybe
Did the paper actually say that it survives?
Well, it would have to survive the digestion, otherwise it wouldn't get into your blood.
You kind of stopped mid-sentence there again.
Oh, it would have to survive digestion. If it didn't, it wouldn't get into the blood.
Alright, fair point.
this is why GMOs are causing such widespread infertility.
Citation needed.
Yeah.
Citation fucking needed.
Didn't you know your liver is very, very much involved in making babies?
Was that a question to me?
No, it was a joke.
Okay, yeah, I was about to make a follow-up joke regarding ethanol consumption and, you know, the going down of certain... I forget it.
Oh, hey Atticus!
Because the microRNA is attaching to the receptor sites of the fertility organs and altering
The fertility organs.
Yeah, again, citation needed.
Oh, I think the word you're looking for is reproductive organs. Like, there's no such thing as a fertility organ. A fertility organ is what you play at a fertility festival.
the expression or the function of those fertility organs.
Citation
Let me read
needed.
you some more from the study because it's quite fascinating. This is in the
I like how like the hypocrisy of him trusting this study, but apparently all the other science that speaks against him, no, that's bought out. That's wrong. That's clearly like paid shills.
Yeah, it's the same everywhere. Same with climate change deniers, for example. They pick 1 out of 1 billion papers
Yep.
that they think supports them and then just keep on quoting or misquoting that one while ignoring everything else.
abstract of the study, which again was published in the September 20th edition, 2011, of Cell Research. The abstract says, quote, "Here we report the surprising findings that exogenous plant microRNAs are present in the sera, that means the blood serum, and tissues of various animals, and that these exogenous plant microRNAs are primarily acquired orally."
Extreme close up.
That, again, is breaking science. It changes everything. You see,
No, that doesn't change everything. It's interesting, but it doesn't change everything.
you already know you are what you eat. And
No.
Yeah,
What
by
I,
that logic, this guy is a dick.
what I eat is me. Like, what I eat becomes me. I am not what I eat. What I eat becomes part of me.
normally, that means you are the vitamins and the minerals and the other nutrients that you consume. We know that that's true on a physical level or even a biochemical level.
I'm sorry. Wait, Is there no? I didn't know there was a difference between the physical level and the biochemical level. I kind of thought biochemical stuff was like, you know, part of the physical world.
Yeah, I have no idea what this guy is trying to say.
But what about the information that you eat? Are you also the information? The answer is yes, and this is, again, a whole new realm of science. When a predator is consumed by, when a predator consumes prey, there is a predator/prey relationship where there is a transfer of information from the prey to
I'm sorry, what?
the predator. So
Where the fuck is he getting that from?
I do not know.
back in American Indian lore, when the American Indians would kill and consume a buffalo,
Okay, apparently he's getting it from Native American legends and mythology.
Yeah, so fucking what? Mythology doesn't prove shit.
I mean, it's a nice, like, metaphor for, like, treating nature, right? But, like, other than that, like, it's not actually a physical thing.
Well, in this case, yeah, but mythology can also lead to the opposite. I mean, remember that when, during the Middle Ages, there was this presupposition that black cats would be dangerous or something?
That still exists.
So they started killing them, which kind of led to the rat population going through the roof, which internally led to the Black Plague getting worse.
It's not entirely, like, there is some truth to that, but it's not, like, the whole story.
Yeah, of course it's not the whole story, but it's certainly a part of it.
But there is actually, like, black cats, if you look at, like, animal rescue shelters, black cats actually get adopted, like, they have a harder time being adopted.
That's weird.
Because
Black
people are still associate them with bad things.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Fucking cat racism.
they would say that in some
I don't
sense
think that the colors in cat fur are comparable to that.
No, they're not.
Yeah, obviously they're
They're not at all comparable. Like, cat, like...
And even then, what do you know those naked cats? What about those?
Oh, you mean those that wear... Like, they look cool, kind of cool, but they also look like little goblins. And you have to, like, really take a lot of care of them, or they, like, they get horrible diseases of the skin. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of character, by the way, they're super awesome. They're like very attached to the humans, and you can take them on vacation because they'll follow you everywhere. Obviously, you will have to sunscreen them.
Yeah.
That might
And
be
they
worth-
look like goblins.
That's true.
become, or that buffalo becomes part of you, or a part of you becomes the buffalo. You and that animal, or
No, the buffalo is dead. If anything, the buffalo becomes part of me. I do not become part of the buffalo.
the plant that
Well,
you
apart from
consume
maybe one of the
become
bones
one.
gets stuck.
What we're finding now with this study is that is genetically a true statement at some interesting level.
Okay, there's no transfer of genetic information. It doesn't actually matter if it's a protein or microRNA that activates the receptor.
Also, where's the connection to GMOs? Like, if this is true for any natural
Yeah.
occurring organism and DNA strand of microDNA or whatever it's called that you consume, why would it be worse for GMOs?
Because Monsanto? And other noises?
It's not just metaphor. It's actually biochemically true that you become, in a small way, but a very true way, part of what you consume. Now, what
No.
happens-
Even if he was right, it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
You're not becoming part of what you consume. It becomes part of it becomes part of you.
Ah, yes. I often put bell peppers and radishes in my lab. And apparently you need both gloves and Well, I guess like if you're taking DNA from them, but like why is there a very small light microscope?
To look good.
Oh, I you know what? I could look at these like
These stock photos are just hilarious.
yeah, lab stock photos are just the best.
No,
My-
the best one is where there's a picture of a woman who's trying to solder a PCB.
Yeah,
And
where she's
holding the soldering iron in such a way that she would burn her fucking fingers. Also, the PCB is in the wrong way around, and she's pointing the fucking soldering iron directly to some chip and not to like the pins. I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
One of my other favorites is one where someone is pipetting something without a tip.
God.
When you consume plants
I just
that
post
have
the
been
picture in the
altered,
side chat.
artificially concocted in a laboratory by profit-driven scientists working for the
That whole profit argument kind of falls flat once you realize that golden rice is a thing. That is humanitarian project. That is not for profit.
most evil corporation in the world.
I know at least 2 more evil corporations.
I know a lot of evil corporations.
Well, let's see. So there's Apple. I guess pretty much every gun manufacturer.
But there's also all the like the game developer studios that like rely on microtransactions.
Oh,
like
yeah, fuck EA.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah, EA especially. So
EA.
I think on the evil scale, I think EA ranks higher than Monsanto.
Yes, definitely.
Information that's bad information. It's not.
Oh, now it's not just information. Now it's bad information.
Yeah. How the fuck do you determine? Okay, so I give.
What
you
does that even mean?
Yeah, I give you a piece of. I give you a DNA strand, right? I don't tell you whether it's occurring naturally or whether it was artificial by being put into a GMO, or whether it's bad. And by what criteria do you do that? Wanna know the answer? Nothing. Here's nothing.
Oh yeah, the other has a point. Insurance companies.
Oh yeah. Kind of, yes. Also, those American HMOs. Not to be confused with HBO.
Not natural
Well, it's
information. It is Frankenfood information, and when you consume
Ooh, Frankenfood! You have to wait till a stormy, thundery night where you electrify the food to make it.
Hey, have you never roasted a pickle with a car battery before?
Not with a car battery, but like with an actual power supply. Yeah, it lights up. It's really
It's
cool.
alive. It's alive.
No, that is not the best line from that movie. Sorry, not even from that scene. Like it's
It's been a while since I watched it.
It's alive, and fine. Okay, that's a pretty iconic thing. But right after that, someone says, "Oh my God, it is," or something to that effect, and Dr. Frankenstein replies something along the lines, "Yes, oh my God, now I know how it feels to be God." That is a much better line. It was so like controversial that in the original releases, it was they put a thunder sound over it to hide it because it was considered blasphemous. And for a while, it wasn't that line wasn't included in the subtitles.
Cool.
that
HBO is
that
evil
information
too
goes
because
into
what they did to Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's true.
your body and then begins to program your organs and your cells and your
Beep boop beep boop beep.
tissues to behave in a way that is artificial, that is not natural, that is Frankensteinian in its effect, in essence. That's what we're seeing with
How is reprogram? Even if we like, even if we grant you that it reprograms our body, whatever the fuck that means, how is that Frankensteinish?
Okay, so does our body work in C++ assembly?
No,
or
basic.
Basic.
Base. No, you know what? No.
V stands for body.
No.
Body all-purpose. Wait, what does basic stand for? Body
No.
all-purpose.
Okay, no. It's obvious, like...
Symbolic instruction code, I think.
No, okay. I'm pretty sure it's machine, like our bodies work on like pure machine codes. I don't think you have any abstracted language above that.
Genetically modified foods. That's why this is a big deal. Let me read you some more quotes from this particular study. It says that this MIR 168A could bind to the... Could bind!
Also, why is he only reading the abstract?
Because reading a whole paper is super hard and complicated? I mean, that requires...
He doesn't bother getting access to it.
No. You can see that he has, because it says introduction and then it's...
Sometimes on some online pages for papers, you
not on Nature.
first page.
In Nature, it's all or nothing.
Okay.
Well, abstract or nothing.
Human mouse low density lipoprotein receptor, that's the LDL cholesterol receptors, adaptor protein, inhibit LDL-RAP1 expression in the liver. Again, this is altering your liver function in terms of regulating cholesterol.
No. It says that it might inhibit that. That does not mean that it actually has any effect. That entirely depends on the dosage and on whether or not your liver cells didn't just like compensate in some way. Like, this is a hyper specific thing that he's doing this for.
And consequently decrease LDL removal from mouse plasma. What that means is that you would have high LDL.
No, it means that the mouse would have high LDL. Mice are not humans, I hate to break it to you.
LDL levels in your blood. These findings demonstrate that exogenous plant microRNA in food can regulate the expression of target genes in mammals.
Yeah, which is super cool.
You got that? If you truly understand what's being said here,
unlike me,
your jaw should be dropping to the floor. It's that big of a deal. This is huge. It means that, again, eating these genetically modified foods and crops can alter the expression of your...
It didn't say anything about genetically modified foods.
Yeah, again, even assuming that he's right in his interpretation, that just means that every food you would consume would do this. I would at least have the potential to do it.
Yeah.
Your organs. MicroRNA.
Also, it's not, we have been eating all of this stuff before we knew about it, and we seemingly didn't have like that much of an effect.
RNAs have been widely shown to modulate various critical biological processes, including differentiation, that's cell specialization.
No, it's cell differentiation.
Apoptosis, which is part of the cancer prevention process in...
No, it's part of it's a type of programmed cell death. It's right that you can that some cancer prevention, if you want to use that stupid term, it involves making cells become apoptotic, but it's also involved in loads of other things.
Normal human cell metabolism, proliferation, the immune response, and the maintenance of cell and tissue identity.
Yeah, notice how it says introduction. Now, Gio, you have read you've read scientific papers, given that you have a degree.
Yes. Actually, kind of 2 degrees if you count bachelor as well.
Well, okay. The point is, in an introduction, is all of the things that's put in an introduction like immediately relevant to the actual study?
No, not necessarily.
So how much you want to guess that what you just read is just a general introduction to what microRNA is, including the ones you make yourself.
Well, the probability that it covers the entire aspect of the paper and covers it in sufficient detail is practically zero.
Yes. It's that what you just read is literally just a description of what microRNAs do. It's an introduction in case you weren't like super familiar with that field. That's all that was. He's extrapolating so much.
Now, that's another crucial statement. What do you get when your cell doesn't remember what identity it's supposed to express?
Cells don't remember things. Like,
Well, neurons kind of do.
well, not on their own.
Yeah, not on their own, obviously.
Like, cell specialization is just a matter, just in very big quotation marks, a matter of what genes are turned on and to what degree.
You get a DNA mutation that results in the form.
No. Like, a cell losing its differentiation does not result in automatically result in mutations.
Formation of a cancer cell that goes on to become a cancer tumor. So what we are seeing here now, written in this paper in language that's very technical,
Which is why you don't understand it.
but if you understand it in layman's terms,
Which you don't.
In layman's terms, there's again this lack of general precision that those idiots tend to prefer because
Well, it's not even
they
that
wouldn't
it's
either you could immediately show that they know shit about it, and they wouldn't be able to kind of explain it to the audience because the audience is dumb as shit as well. Sorry, but they are.
well, it's not even like you could translate it into layman's terms. Like, I mean, that's what like science communication is about. But like to do that, you actually kind of need to understand the technical terms first. Which, spoiler alert, Mike Adams doesn't, because Mike Adams is a fucking idiot.
Ding.
Thank you.
it means simply this. If you eat genetically modified foods, you are absorbing information from those foods that can potentially
And then you turn into Spider-Man.
Wouldn't that imply that you're eating spiders?
No, it means you're drinking milk from those spider goats.
Oh yeah, the spider goats.
Spider goat.
Spider goat.
Spider goat.
Spider goat.
potentially
I think I
cause
made that
cancer
joke
in the
last time,
body.
didn't I?
It can
Probably.
alter the expression, the
It is the go-to joke for that.
Yeah, obviously. But let's just say that spider goats are utter nonsense.
Well, they're kind of cool.
Get it? Utter nonsense?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good.
function of your organs, such as the liver, and possibly, in fact, very likely, many other organs, including your
Which I'm basing on nothing.
brain, including fertility organs, including
Okay, it's almost like if you want to say, okay, yeah, it's probably fairly likely that other like microRNAs probably affect other organs, but one thing it's less likely to affect is the brain, because you have this thing called a blood-brain barrier, or the triple B, which kind of like controls what goes in and out of your brain from the blood.
your kidneys, perhaps even your heart.
Perhaps even your heart. Ooh, not the heart.
In other words, the more genetically modified
GMOs are preventing us from falling in love.
food you consume, the less human you become.
As if that would make any difference to me.
What the fuck? Like, oh no. Oh no.
How much is left of this shit?
We are at we're a little over halfway.
Oh god.
That is a shocking but true statement. By
It's shockingly stupid.
eating this information, you are becoming less human and less natural.
So
And
less natural.
says the man whom is recording a video on his very natural video camera in front of his very natural screens, in his very natural clothes, under very natural lighting.
Yeah, and who has probably some sort of maybe contact lenses or tooth implants, artificial limbs or artificial knee joints.
I don't think he has one of those, but like the point is, he's not recording this using a tree branch and 2 potatoes. Like, who cares?
It's literally altering the expression of your body and
Also-
your body's tissues. Go ahead.
Wait a second, stop. Also, just because something's natural doesn't mean that it's good. Asbestos occurs naturally.
Yeah, I mean, and so like botulism, cocaine, and herpes.
Going on in this study, again published in Cell Research, it goes on to state that this has the potential to selectively interact with specific target cells and mediate intracellular communication. That's
Yeah, that is how is that special? Spoiler alert! You know how like your food. Or we already know that your food interacts with your body. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to taste things.
oh wow. The secreted microRNAs can serve as a novel class of signaling molecules in mediating intracellular communication. In other words, it can interfere with the cell signals between.
No, that's not what it said. That is not what it said. And Yella is correct. Being eaten by bears is very natural.
Only by bears. Pretty much every predator that is big enough to, or capable enough to get you, eating you is natural.
Mike Adams is for malaria.
Between your cells. And as Dr. Bruce Lipton wrote about in the biology.
Yeah, so Dr. Bruce Lipton is an asshat.
Does it have anything to do with the iced tea? Just asking.
Let's. I wanna.
Bruce Lipton. Never heard of him before.
He's kind of wooey. He's essentially saying that you can like alter your Remember correctly, he's basically saying that
Is he saying that you can manipulate your DNA by positive thought?
kind of
Oh god, that's stupid.
like if you like is an interested leader in bridging science and spirit. You already know that there you have a problem there. He basically thinks that epigenetics is like magic. Which spoilers, they're not. It's like it's not.
Of belief, it is the outside of the
Jerry
cell.
Weigmatz wants to know
cell-
whether he's an associate of Dr. Pepper.
No, Dr. Pepper is a better doctor.
Membrane that is much of the intelligence of your whole system. It is.
I'm sorry,
Bruce
what?
Lipton wrote
What?
about in the biology
The
of belief.
membrane has an intelligence.
Yeah, I'm replaying it.
It is the outside of the cell membrane that is much of the intelligence of your whole system. It is.
No, stop. There's no intelligence involved here. That's the point. Cells are not thinking.
Also, like, I mean, sure, your membrane is important and involved in a lot of processes.
Yeah, but
But like, it's not that important.
Yeah,
It is the intelligence.
what's thinking is just wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not like
All they're doing is basically doing their chemically predetermined.
they're just following the laws of nature.
Basically, yes.
That tells the inside of the cell what to do based on what's happening in its environment.
No, that's not the membrane. That is the proteins in the membranes. They're called receptors.
And what this study is showing is that, again, eating GMOs and genetically engineered.
You know, notice how none of the quotes he's read from the paper mention anything about GMOs?
Nope. Well, yes, I noticed that they don't, obviously.
Yep.
Foods can alter what signals your cells are receiving.
What is this? Snow White?
Now, why does this matter? Here's a picture of BT
It matters because that's how you make money.
corn.
What?
So BT corn is a genetically modified version of corn
I
that
broke up the mid-sentence again.
so BT corn is a genetically modified version of corn that produces it produces a toxin that kills insects. Like it makes its own pesticide.
Okay.
Corn.
In what way is that a bad thing?
Because pesticides are bad or something. Even though using BT corn actually reduces the amount of pesticide that you need to spray, and the bacterium that produces the toxin normally is actually used in organic farming as pesticide, where you just spray the spores from bacteria.
A genetically modified variety of corn. It's grown throughout North America and around the world, in fact, and most of the corn that's harvested in America today is BT corn.
That is true, because it has an advantage for the farmer. Spoiler alert, farmers really don't like wasting resources and money, because being a farmer is really expensive, and it's a job where literally the weather can fuck up a whole year's income.
Corn. BT is genetically engineered to produce an insecticide chemical in its own kernels. Yeah, an insecticide.
Oh no! Thank God humans aren't insects.
Insecticide that kills insects by causing
Yeah, that's what the word insecticide means.
neurological damage.
No, it doesn't cause neurological damage. BT corn is the BT toxin forms pores. It embeds itself into the gut lining of the insect's digestive system, into those cells, into the cell membrane, and then it forms pores, which then empties like ion channels, if I remember correctly. Which makes
I do not know.
Which makes the insects stop eating.
Now, inside the BT corn DNA, there is coding, artificial programming.
No, it's DNA. It's not like it was put there artificially, but like you wouldn't looking at it. You wouldn't have any way to tell that it was put like in there like that.
Say, for it to synthesize this insecticide in its own kernels. That way, when insects eat the corn, they die of neurological poisoning.
Except it's not neurological.
I'm pretty sure that he's an expert on being neurologically poisoned. Get
So
it? Because
that
his
way the
brain dead.
insects don't eat the corn, and then
I
they
got it.
harvest the corn, and they use it to make high fructose corn syrup. They use it to feed cattle. They use it to make...
Oh no! They use corn to do the things we use corn for. How awful! Not the
Actually, micro, most of the corn over here ends up in biogas plants.
your corn flake breakfast cereals
Not my cornflakes!
and your corn tortillas and your corn soup and
Oh, listen to that. That
Corn soup? There's such a thing as corn soup? That sounds disgusting. I mean, unless you count chili as corn soup, which
Corn soup is apparently a thing.
what? Really? What the hell? Corn soup.
Let's see what actually goes into it. So
Okay, I imagined that a little bit more thin. This looks like creamy.
So it kind of. So it's basically like it's made with chicken stock. So it's basically like a chicken soup, but with a shit ton of corn in it.
So it's basically like a chicken tortilla for the toothless.
And then like you pick out off all the corn kernels and you boil it with the cup to get some flavor out of that. And then you I think you blend it. And then you end up with, so it's okay. That's apparently a thing. Well, okay.
And everything else.
Wait, did we just learn something from watching a Mike Adams video?
Maybe.
I mean, we now know that corn soup is a thing.
Okay, fair point.
That's frightening.
That you're
So
eating at the grocery
congratulations
store
for
that's
teaching us something.
Yay!
USDA organic. Got that? If it's not non-GMO, it's probably BT corn. What this means, and I hope you truly get this, I hope you really, really understand this point. That's why I'm spending so much
Do you understand the point? Because I don't think you do.
time on this. Based on this study, now we have the understanding of a mechanism by which you might eat BT corn and you...
No, that's not what the study said, at all. You're just making, the biggest leap in existence.
might become a person who is now coded or programmed to produce insecticide in your own body.
And?
Citation needed.
First off, yeah, citation needed. That's not what the study says. That's literally has nothing to do with what the study was about. And so what? Even if that was the case, it's not gonna hurt me. I am not an insect. Also, if you have to consume for BT toxin to work, the insect has to consume it. If you made an I'm pretty sure if you made an insect that actually produced it inside its body, nothing would happen, because it would need to eat itself.
Okay, what about mosquitoes then?
Well, I mean, BT toxin is fairly it's fairly specific. I'm not sure if there is a version that would target mosquitoes. But the mosquito would still bite you. It just wouldn't bite again.
You understand that?
No, I don't, because it's nonsense.
That's a very big deal. In other words, the microRNA that is coding for the production of neurologically damaging...
That's not what microRNA is. It's not messenger RNA. It doesn't code for a protein. If you're gonna use words, look up what they actually mean.
Yeah, the stupid is strong in this one.
It really is.
Actually, no, that's an insult to stupid
insecticides
people.
in the corn could pass through digestion. It could get into your blood. It could get into your digestive tract. It could perhaps even attach to various organs in your body. It could, in fact, transfer into the so-called friendly flora that inhabits your intestinal tract.
The so-called friendly flora, or as normal, educated people call it, your microbiota.
Also known as gut bacteria and stuff.
Well, gut bacteria is not that, it's less accurate because there's other things than bacteria.
Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, fine.
And those bacteria could then begin producing BT insecticide in your own gut.
And? I'm not an insect. Also, those bacteria, they wouldn't have an advantage in like they would be now producing a protein that they didn't have a need for, that they would be wasting energy for. Like they would essentially like be naturally selected out by all the other bacteria.
That would cause you to start producing poison and suffering the symptoms of that poison.
I am not an insect.
Are you sure?
At least not physically.
How many legs do you have?
Do you want the answer for the avatar or for the real me?
Well, in one case the answer is 0, and in the other one it's probably 2.
Yes, I have 2
Or
legs.
4, depending on how you
That's-
count it.
I have 2 legs and 2 arms that I can do spaghetti with. And you can't see me, so I'm not sure why I'm actually making any kind of motion. I'm also not sure why I decided to call that doing spaghetti.
Inside your own gut.
That's
You
because
could,
your brain is poisoned by all this insecticide.
Oh, I thought it was the
in other
alcohol.
words, become a pesticide factory.
You mean I get a cool mutant power? Yay!
Again, remember when I said the more you eat of this, the less human you become.
No. You're still a human.
You're becoming less human and more factory. More pesticide factory. Yeah, this,
What the fuck? That was beautiful.
I mean, seriously, is this guy really as stupid? Or
No, he knows, like, he's just living off of other people's idiocy. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
this isn't metaphor anymore, folks. I hope you get this. This is actual biological genetic truth. This is a scientific fact. It also
citation
means that
needed?
Yeah.
the excuse that Monsanto uses that we don't have to test
Which they didn't actually do.
this for safety in humans. There's no need to even test anything. That is pure quackery.
No, what's pure crackery is all the stuff you sell.
That's
Does
junk
he sell
science.
something?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Example. Oh god, this is gonna get really stupid, isn't it?
This is the side he runs. You can see his.
Hey, did we ever take a look at this before? Kind of seems familiar.
I think we might have actually. Yeah. Let's go to the store. Oh, look at all the ads.
Groovy Bee Organic Camu Camu Powder.
Whatever the fuck that is. Oh look, a juicer! Oh look, raw unpasteurized non-irradiated almonds. Because you know, we all, like, irradiated almonds are such a big problem.
Cayenne fruit.
Tincture. Whatever the fuck
What
that
that's
is.
supposed to be. Health Ranger Select Organic Cocoa Love 12 ounces.
Ugh, I don't want his cocoa love. That
Actually,
just...
that sounds like porn.
That sounds... yeah. That's some interracial porn. Turmeric.
Medicinal. Wait, zoom all the way down.
Zoom all the way down?
Yeah, so scroll. Medicinal mushroom bites. Maybe he used the wrong type of mushroom. That would explain a lot.
2 tablespoons of mushroom powder. Oh look! It's something he sells.
Ugh.
Let's see. Because you know, it's normal to use glyphosate on mushrooms. I'm guessing it's just like mushrooms. I don't think it's like... I think it's literally just like ground up, like normal, everyday.
Yeah, but probably freeze-dried or something, I assume.
So yeah, he sells shit.
It's corporate-run science produced
Except for, you know, all the science that is like done by universities.
for the sole purpose of selling more GMO seed.
You mean corporations want to make a profit?
Wait a second, Micro. There's a possible hypocrisy here. Can you go back to the Nature paper that he cites?
Why?
Well, because I wouldn't be surprised if the paper would be like funded by not only university but also private company. And if it does, then it would mean that he's a hypocrite.
Well, let's find out. Let's see. It's from China. Oh. So there appears to be some news after this. Commenting, lack of detectable oral availability of plant microRNA after feeding mice.
Oh, neat.
So there seems to be some
Contradiction to the article that he's citing.
yes, and then there's a reply from the office, and then there's mining of public sequence databases supports a non-dietary origin for putative foreign microRNAs. So it seems that this thing doesn't actually happen. Oops. Let's see. Let's actually go to.
Probably. Can you access this?
Yes. It's
Okay, I'm not sure whether you can actually share it because of copyright stuff.
well, it's freely available. Like it did.
Oh, it's a free article.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't have to log into anything. Huh?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. Acknowledgements. National Science Foundation of China. It doesn't look like there's anything from it, which is pretty normal for research of China. Like
Yeah,
it's,
obviously. I'm just saying, I actually didn't expect anything, but if it was...
yeah, that would be
it's
quite
pretty
funny. So yeah, guess he's wrong. Also, I really enjoy the fact that it apparently turned out not to be the case. So his whole, like, all of this shit is, his dire warnings are based on nothing.
And generating profits for what is now considered
I mean, they're based on nothing to begin with, but now it's just so clear.
to be the most
Also, the
evil
hypocrisy
corporation
of somebody trying to make a living while he's selling his bullshit.
our planet. Monsanto.
Ha! What an original pun. No one has ever done that before.
And the second most evil corporation being DuPont, which is also very heavily invested and involved in the GMO seed industry.
Yeah, also, DuPont is one of the biggest manufacturers of medicine on the planet.
Yeah, I mean,
So, well, not necessarily the fine chemicals, but the base chemicals. For
yeah, I mean, it's a chemical company that also happens to have an agrochemical department, and to support that, they also do research into genetic modification of seeds, so that they can sell, like the same way that Monsanto both sells, on our Bayer, like sells glyphosate, so Roundup, and the seeds that are resistant to it. Like, they're also not the only ones that does this, but like the fact that like that's how corporations work. Your problem here isn't with GMOs. Your problem here is with how, like, agrochemical companies are run. Your problem is essentially capitalism. This has nothing to do with the science. Just because they're making a profit off of it doesn't mean that the product is automatically bad. Like, I hate to tell him, but like all the monitors and stuff he has, and all the clothes he's wearing, guess what? Those companies are also making a profit. That doesn't mean that that his clothes is probably suddenly gonna strangle him, or that the monitors are gonna hypnotize him. Like, he's so fucking stupid.
So I hope you're getting this. In fact, this was covered by a story in The Atlantic, which is entitled, as you can see here, The Very Real Dangers of Genetic.
Yeah, I don't get my scientific understanding, like from newspaper articles. I get them from like actual articles.
From actual scientific articles and peer-reviewed papers. But John.
Genetically modified foods. The Atlantic covered this and pointed this out. It's being covered all across the media.
Who is he going to cite next?
Monsanto is denying this, but the science is now providing the explanation for the mechanism by which GMO foods can poison you.
No.
Again, code your body to produce poisons internally. That's what you need to know.
Nope.
Now, stay informed about this. Keep watching naturalnews.tv, where we will be posting these videos. We're also posting this audio on soundcloud.com.
Wait a second. Which one is it? Is it tv.naturalnews.com or is it naturalnews.tv?
Who knows? Who cares?
Video, if you're watching. If you're seeing this on YouTube, share it there. Get this information out.
Wait, let's look at the interview with John Perkins, former economic hitman. What the fuck is it?
Police brought in to investigate mom who refused to vaccinate her child.
Good.
Watching?
Yeah.
If you're seeing this.
Oh, look. You probably can't see it, but the audience probably can. Yes.
Looks like InfoWars.
It is.
YouTube,
oh man, that's
Get
just
this information out to other people. I also want to encourage you to read naturalnews.com, where I serve as the editor.
Read my site.
And we publish about 10 stories a day now from various
all idiotic, just as idiotic as this.
Authors, investigative stories about health issues that are important for you, your family, your children, and
So myself, my family, and my children, who are apparently not part of my family.
Future of our world. We're into sustainable living, we're into green living, we're also into health freedom. In addition,
health freedom is code for you can do whatever the fuck you want to your children.
I want to encourage you to support Jeffrey Smith and his efforts at the Institute for Responsible Technology.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that's probably bullshit.
The IRT. His website is responsibletechnology.org. And also help support Ronnie Cummins at the Organic Consumers Association, who helps fight against GMOs. He is at organic.
I love the sound effects.
And by the way, you can find some other videos that we've done at foodinvestigations.com, a video about fake blueberries being used in breakfast cereals. There's going to be...
I'm sorry, what? Fake blueberries?
Yeah, some yogurts, for example, are colored by using beets. I think that's what he's talking about. I guess, for example, blueberry yogurts, which are colored by using a dye that naturally occurs in red beets instead of blueberries. So, oh no, people are using.
Yeah, that is what it's referring to. You probably can't read it, but reading what's this text here, that is what it's about.
He would be astounded to find out what to find in gummy bears.
And the Natural News production team. In fact, we're filming this in our new studio where we can bring you this information in a timely and professional way.
Professional, but not accurate.
Thank you for watching, and please share this video. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger.
Well, I guess we've taken...
You know what? Professional but inaccurate should be the fucking slogan.
I mean, I guess we've technically shared it.
I think so.
So, I think that's enough stupid for now.
I agree.
Also, the stream has been going for 2.5 hours. So
Yeah, and I'm also scheduled to appear on Jared's stream in a few minutes.
yeah, and I have also
Last night.
I also have some other things I need to do tonight. So I think we're gonna call it a day. So thanks for coming on, Gio.
Sure thing. By the way, I count you in for my next stream in, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, when the new computer is finally online.
Yeah, sure.
Because I actually want to inaugurate it with a few matches of Tannenberg maybe and some Doom.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay. Then again, thanks for having me on, and see you.
Bye, everyone.